Welcome to another edition of Through a Veteran's Eye. I'm your host, Fred Shinbur, filling in for Art Callahan. Our program today will provide you, veterans, veterans' families, and veterans' friends with information concerning benefits and services that are available. Once again, this program is our way of saying thanks for all you, as veterans, have done for this great nation. Before I get to our guest today, I want to remind you of the telephone number of Maryland's Commitment to Veterans Behavioral Health Services, which is a hotline for veterans and their families needing help with behavioral health issues. That number is 1-877-770-4801. We'll run that number several times during this and every program. Welcome home. This segment today will concentrate on basic issues that impact our citizen soldiers, our citizens' heroes, National Guard members, and Reserve Force members. We hope to provide information for the family members and employers of these defenders of our great nation by addressing the mission of the Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, ESGR. Our guest today is Mr. Ronald Pitts, Chairman of the Western Maryland ESGR. Welcome, Ron.
Good morning, Fred.
Nice having you. Ron, a little bit about your function. What is the mission of the ESGR, and what do you do?
ESGR is a volunteer organization under the Department of Defense, and what we do is look out after the employment and reemployment rights of our men and women in uniform in the National Guard and Reserve, and as well, an additional service that we provide now is helping those members find jobs.
Any member?
Any member.
Okay. What is the organization when it was first created? What prompted the creation of this kind of an organization?
Not that you would remember, Fred, but in 1971 we went to the all-volunteer Army, and the Department of Defense knew that there would be a bigger and bigger role of National Guardsmen and reservists in the national defense. In fact, every other man, woman in the National Guard and Reserve would be part of the defense structure, and they decided that they needed an organization to assist them because they knew that there would be employment issues. So we were created to help buffer those situations.
In 1971?
1971.
Okay, that's a little bit before my time.
I realize that, Fred.
Are you employed by ESGR?
I'm a volunteer. I'm one of 50 volunteers here in the state of Maryland. There's approximately 4,200 volunteers in every state throughout the United States, Puerto Rico, the District of Columbia, the American Virgin Islands, and Guam.
So you volunteer, you don't get paid for any of all this service you do?
Well, you know, it's kind of payback time. I spent 30 years in the military and 30 years with the Department of Labor, and now it's my time to give back to those that give so much.
Well, you mentioned a minute ago, but how many members do you have that serve the National Guardsmen and Reservists in Maryland and nationwide?
There's approximately 15,000 National Guardsmen and Reservists here in the state of Maryland, and I believe there's 1 million National Guardsmen Reservists nationwide, but we're responsible for making sure that they're briefed each and every year, every soldier, on their rights under USERRA, which is the Uniform Service Employment and Reemployment Act.
And as that happens to be the law that covers the employment and reemployment of the National Guard?
That's right. That's the law that we function under.
Could you repeat that again, please? It's
USERRA, Uniform Service Employment and Reemployment Act.
Military wouldn't exist without acronyms, would it?
Well, that's for certain. And also, one of the least known facts is that up to the first 5 years of a full-time active duty soldier, we also cover them as well.
Very good. You help soldiers with jobs. How do you do that?
A prime example is here in Hagerstown with the Maryland One Stops, which is right down in the corner, as well as Frederick, Cumberland, and Oakland. They all have one stops, and we refer them to them as well. And then we have a program which is known as H2H, Heroes to Hire. Used to be Helmets to Hard Hats. And Carl Peters heads that up here in the state of Maryland. In fact, the whole East Coast, and we refer people to them. If individuals are interested in employment, all they have to do is go online to H2H, look it up, and it's probably one of the easiest online services there are. And if they prefer in-house, one-on-one, then we refer them to the Maryland One Stops.
Well, we'll see about having Carl on this program in a future segment.
I know he'd love to come.
What about family members? Family
members as well. Under the H2H program, we encourage them Also with the Maryland One Stops, although they may, unless they have military service, may not be able to see a veterans representative, they certainly can see the representatives there that will help them find jobs.
And of course, you already mentioned this, that you help other vets as well, not just guardsmen and reservists.
Well, it's primarily our function is National Guardsmen Reservists, but if an active duty soldier up to their first 5 years has an employment issue, then we can help them out as well.
How do you reach these soldiers?
Well, we do yearly briefings. I'm responsible for 10 units from Frederick County West. As a standard annual briefing, takes about a half hour to refresh their memories on what they're covered by, and as well we also talk to employers. It's not only one side talking to our National Guardsmen Reservists about USERRA law, but we also go to organizations such as the MMLs, the Maryland Municipal Leagues, which are townships. We talk to them. We talk to chambers of commerce, SHRM organizations, personnel organizations as well.
Well, how do you work with employers, or do you work with employers?
Oh, we do, most certainly, because you know, there's two sides to every situation, and you know, we'll have National Guardsmen Reservists come to us with a complaint about an employer not living up to USERRA law. Well, we take a neutral stand. You know, we approach employers. In fact, at the state level, among the volunteers, 95% of all the issues are resolved in the first telephone call.
That's great. That is, and that's a great benefit. I myself know several guardsmen that have had issues and have been resolved by ESGR, so it really has a lot of meaningful benefits to that. Well, how can National Guard, Reserve, and family members get additional information?
All they have to do, if they're interested in our home site, they have to go to mdesgr.org, or if they want to go to the national site, it's just esgr.mil.
MD meaning Maryland.
Maryland.
Okay. And employers can get this information as well?
At the same sites, MD. And you know, if they wanted to get in contact with me, it's Ron Pitts, and my telephone number is 301-834-7237, or Ronald.Leigh, L-E-I-G-H, .Pitts at us.army.mil.
And we will be streaming that on the screen. Well, Ron, thank you very much for being here today, and certainly thank you for your commitment to our nation's heroes, our veterans. Due to the volume of information, we hope to get you on very soon into another segment. And this is Through a Veteran's Eye, Fred Shinbur. Certainly thank you for watching this episode, and look forward to seeing you again in the very near future. Thank you.